Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brad. And so I get a lot of questions about what content I like to consume and listen to. And I happen to be like a very big believer in, what you take in is, it's like cooks say. They have this expression that it's very hard to make a bad dish when you have good ingredients. So if you put good ingredients into your dish, you're going to get, pretty much get a good meal. It's pretty hard to fuck up, really solid ingredients. But if you have bad ingredients to begin your meal with, it's very hard to make a good dish out of bad ingredients. So I believe that what you listen to and what you absorb and the stuff you read and the content that you absorb and listen to and the influences you have in your life, like your friends and shit, they really affect the overall result of what, your mind is and like the way you think and your belief systems and everything. So people ask me all the time, like, what do I listen to? What podcasts do I listen to? And, honestly, if I was to distill it down into the most important ones, the ones that actually help me get results in life, I would say for business, it would be a guy named Sam Ovens. Sam Ovens is absolutely amazing. His content on business and his content on, mindset in terms of like success mindset is by far the simplest and clearest and most applicable stuff that's out there by far. So if there was one guy, if I had one thing that was really gonna, recommend, it would be Sam Ovens. That guy's fucking awesome. A secondary one, other than that, would be Tony Robbins. Obviously, been a huge Tony Robbins fan for a really long time. Big fan of his stuff. I tend to be a bit ADD, which Sam, is he really recommends that you not be ADD. The opposite. Just sit still, do one thing really well, listen to, pretty much one thing, and just really master, your business and master your life, which is, pretty much simple, clean living, very straightforward thinking, and very focused everything. Like, you're not listening to a million different guys, you're just listening to one. But admittedly, I do fall off track and I get bored of just listening to it again and again. It's a fault of mine. So what I'll do is I'll also listen to Tony Robbins. Tony is a huge, influence in my life. Massive. I've learned a lot from him and really benefited a lot from him. The difference between him and Sam is that I think Sam is a bit more clear and a bit more to the point of success and a bit more applicable. I think Tony is, Tony's a fucking genius, but it's too much. It's too broad, I think, and a bit too muddy psychologically. I mean, everything he says makes sense, but it's not as crystal clear as Sam's guidance. So Sam's guidance is really where it's at for me. With my personality, I really like it. Then in terms of just like pure semi-distraction, I'll listen to the Jaco podcast because Jaco is a guy that, obviously he was a Navy SEAL for like 25 years, which is something that I think every man can really respect, and a lot of women too. So, he talks about like leadership and owning your life and, not being such a fucking pussy, as all these guys do. Tony and Sam also talk about this, but he also kind of motivates me to get in shape. And he kind of reminds me of, at one point I was kind of excited to join the military, believe it or not. Like, I wanted to do it. And, I still respect the shit out of those guys. And I think it would be fun to do at one point, to actually join up and just, be a part of it and help out and get to do the whole military thing. So it motivates me to go out and get in shape and, just cut no corners with my diet, cut no corners with my training, and just keep pushing forward physically. But honestly, like Sam Ovens. Now, the other thing that I really recommend you do, that if you're trying to absorb content, the best thing to do is to go through a whole training program. If you're going to watch videos, go through a training program. Like Sam Ovens has an exceptional training program called Consultant Accelerator. Tony has an exceptional training program called Business Mastery, Relationship Mastery. All these programs that they have, I recommend going through them and really absorbing them. And while you're, doing it, take notes, do the exercises, really get involved with it. And then obviously, I like books. Usually I read a little bit each day, although I've kind of been slacking on it a bit lately. And just reading, some really good thoughts from some really smart people can be enough to inspire you and give you, some new tools and insights and things that you can use in your daily life that just make you better. Reading books, it absorbs into you and it just makes you better if you're reading the right stuff. So last year I read so many fucking books, a lot of psychology books because I was trying to figure myself out, which ultimately didn't really produce the result. Actually, listening to Sam's stuff really just following it really helped me produce results in my business. Read a lot of stuff on business, sales, marketing, the way to manage your stuff. It was all, it's all well and good. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the lingo and the way to speak about these things. I became really good at reading and focusing and all that. And I still recommend books, quite a bit. I'm actually looking at my book stack right here, and if I had to pick a few different ones just out of them, I'd recommend Goals by Brian Tracy. That was a game changer for me. Think and Grow Rich, obviously. Looking at the different ones here, they're all good. Expert Secrets, they're all good. Expert Secrets is great. Ryan Holiday, Growth Hacker Marketing. There's another one. Oh, I'm Okay, You're Okay, which is a book about psychology, transactional analysis. That's one of my favorite books in the whole psychology realm. You could go into all these different clinicians like Freud and Jung and, whatever his fucking name is, Kierkegaard and Erickson and all these guys. And that's really awesome. All those guys have a lot of really awesome stuff. But I really like this because it's very clear and it's applicable. My favorite stuff, honestly, is stuff that's just very fucking simple, very easy to apply, and very easy to use as like a mental model to think about the world. And transactional analysis is great. Goals, his concept of goals and practice of making and writing goals with deadlines is amazing. Big fan of that. Yeah, man, just go to Barnes & Noble, go to the different sections on business and psychology and these different areas and just read, I personally, when I go to Barnes & Noble, I'll read, at times I'll do this thing where I'll read 20 pages of maybe not 8 books, but 4 to 8 books. I've done 8 books before, but that's a bit much. Or other times I'll go really deep and I'll read 100 pages of one book in about, 2 hours or something like that, depending on the book. But, that's, another thing that I do, and that's how I've covered a lot of different books in a short period of time. So, and then I find ones that really resonate with me, and then I, maybe I go to the whole thing, I reread it, etc. But this stuff absorbs into you, and it becomes part of who you are, and it becomes something that really drives your success in life. So, definitely a huge fan of reading, doing content, watching certain forms of content. The content you have to be aware of is the fast, easy thrills content, which is content that's just jumping all over the place and, meant to distract you and meant to, make things kind of, just distract you from your work. Something like this that I'm putting out now is real. I try to make this stuff real actionable steps that you can use today. You can just go and try this stuff today, and it'll actually, improve your life in some way. It's going to give you, if you go and do that thing I just said, reading 8 books, 20 pages, you're going to get 20 pages worth of awesome insights from 8 great books if you pick them out properly. You could go pick up 8 classic, business or psychology books or even fiction books by the best, Dostoevsky or fucking Steinbeck or whatever, and just read them. And just, you get 20 pages of excellence. Or you could go deep on one book that's fucking awesome. That's a great suggestion. Doing a full course, like a Sam Ovens course, is going to do so much for you if you really go through it. Or a Tony Robbins course is going to do so much for you. So any of these suggestions are all going to help you. That's why content like this, I try to make it, easy to use. There's a lot of suggestions, but they're all easy to use. And if you took any of them and you put them into your life would get better and you would have more success. So that's about it, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.